Hare Krishna. We'll start with the invocation prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusutta Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. Before we begin chapter 11, we'll have some announcements and some discussions. So last week, my Guru Maharaj was here at the Toronto temple, and many devotees did a lot of services. And I did notice some of you did join the online sessions as well. So I thank all of you, whether you joined online sessions or whether you were in person doing services or attending in-person sessions. Thank all of you because this is all direct service. So first, those devotees who were physically present in Toronto and they had a lot of learning, a lot of practical experiences, a lot of discussions. So if you are, please want to share your experience for the benefit of everybody else who are either far away or cannot come. So all of you, please do it quickly. There are many devotees virtually present now. Everybody, Deepa, Mansi, Monarch, follow me, Ritu, you had a lot of personal experiences that you want to share with others, please, quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna. Go ahead, Mansi.
Whenever, when
Hello?
I saw Maharaj for the first time, I got
Hello?
a goosebumps.
Prabhuji?
Malti, hold on.
Hello?
Let Mansi speak.
So I got a goosebumps.
Hello?
And
Go ahead, Mansi.
yeah, and I was so stunned that how can I felt like that? And you gave us the Charnamrita, and after having that Charnamrita, that feeling was amazing. I cannot describe that feelings in the words because I don't know how to explain that. But that was, yeah, I can say that that was an amazing experience, and with the Guruma also we had a lots of great learning, I can say, because as everyone was serving in the kitchen, Guruma walks to the kitchen to meet everyone. So no one does that thing, but Guruma did that because that shows that how humble she is, and lots of other experience. Let me
Yeah.
other speak from
Yeah.
them.
So what Mansi is explaining that many devotees from our batches, they wanted to meet Guru Maharaj. So Guruma has authority over me, and Guruma could have asked somebody to send to call me to her place. Rather, Guruma herself walked to the kitchen for you all devotees. This is the merciful nature. Okay, very good. Deepa wanted to say.
Prabhuji, sorry, I got lost. I don't know what happened. So for me, it was quite an experience and a blessing for me to meet Guru Maharaj and Guru Mata. And I was very nervous, but he made me quite comfortable.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, rest of you, there are a lot of learning experiences. Rest of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Uh,
Monarch, unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So Prabhu, it was a great learning experience, and especially when the Guru Maharaj told that how to distribute Bhagavad Gita to Indians and to non-Indians. And Sunday, many devotees have shared that experience that it was a very fruitful when they tried using that method. So yeah, it was a great learning experience.
Yeah, many of you got direct learning from Guru Maharaj on how to distribute Bhagavad Gita as well as how to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Very good. As well as they all went and did practice also. Very good. Ritu?
Hare Krishna. I learned the etiquettes, how to work in the kitchen. I learned many things from Rajesh Prabhuji. I had good experience with Guru Maharaj, Guru Mata. I had many experiences. One day we were making chapatis and there was no one in the kitchen to prepare the chapatis for the Gopinath ji. And it was very difficult for two of us to prepare the chapatis. Prabhuji went upstairs in the temple and he arranged few devotees and he said Radharani arranged all the devotees and they all really made excellent chapatis. After that, the way Prabhuji thanked them and he offered him prasad, nectar, fruits, everything. It was a very good experience for me to learn how Prabhuji humbly thanking everyone. One day we had a lemon from the Bhoga, Gopinathji Bhoga. Due to Prabhuji, I received all Bhogas, the plate offered to Gopinath, which I can never expect. And Prabhuji gave us a lemon. That day, Archana Mataji was also there. And we three were having the Bhoga, Prabhuji, Archana Mataji, and me. Prabhuji said, Ritu, will you try this lemon? I said, always it's too bitter to have the cover of the lemon. I never eat it. Prabhuji said, okay, you try it. Prabhuji divided it in three pieces. I cannot explain the taste. It was sweet. I never had a taste. Lemon tasted sweet. It is sour or bitter. But it was excellent. And all the services I did, I cannot explain. It was a superb experience. And I thanks Rajesh Prabhuji for the opportunity he gave me and I cannot express this, but it
So
was
let
wonderful. Hare
so,
Krishna.
so always for Guru Maharaj. So let me explain what Ritu is explaining about the lemon. So the lemon was the Mahaprasad. So when we offer Bhoga to Krishna and when it comes back, that is Mahaprasad. And then we offer the Mahaprasad to spiritual master and what comes from the spiritual master plate is Mahaprasad. So the lemon is not the yellow lemon, but the green lime lemon, which has a very thick shell and the shell is very bitter. But because it is touched by spiritual master, the lemon was so soft that I could just break the shell in three pieces, for one for me, one for Ritu, and one for Archana. And we all ate the entire lemon, including the shell, as if we were eating an apple, right? Because now it is touched by the spiritual master. It has come from spiritual master's plate. That Prasad becomes so very delicious, so very soft. Of course, it's purifying. Many devotees got the Prasad from the spiritual master, and all of them got purified, all of them got the mercy. And all of you who got the Prasad, this is how you will be able to do book distribution, because the bhakti of the spiritual master is now coming to you through the Prasad. So this lemon, this is not the first time I have honored this Prasad lemon. I have tried this honoring lemon at home with the shell. It's impossible to eat lemon with the shell. Has anybody tried to eat lemon with the shell?
Yes, Prabhuji, is very sour.
Right. But Ritu was explaining that this lemon, including the shell, was sweet, as if you were eating like a soft, say, a chiku or an apple, right? So this is the power of Mahaprasad. Thank you, Ritu, for sharing, and thank you for doing all the services. Rest of you who wants to share? Kamalpreet Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj. Actually, Prabhu, on that day, I don't want to come, but unfortunately, it was 12 o'clock I was sitting in my room. I don't want to go to ISKCON, but I don't know why I go and why I reach and then I meet all of you. It was amazing for me. And even
Yeah.
I am not expected to I am only that I am going to go bow down to Srila Prabhupada Maharaj and eat prasadam and go home. But I never expected that I get the Charna Amrit and all the very transcendental vibrations. It was amazing. And even I don't want to come. I don't know why I am coming. Even I was in the shop on
Yeah,
that
so
day.
this is the power of spiritual master pulling all the devotees. Very good. Rest of you, anybody wants to share? Follow me.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Three things that stood out. First thing, thank you for the Charanamrit. I was just thinking it's rose water. That was a little foolish of me. But when I drank that, in the end, I could get up early mornings and do the japa. And I was very stunned. Like that was my desire. It was not getting fulfilled. But it's happening after doing that. Probably there's some effect. And another thing that really stood out was two things when we sat with that book distribution session with Guru Maharaj. One thing that was mentioned is that the fear of book distribution went out from me because there was a line said that when you distribute the book, Sri Krishna puts a tick box there. Whether the other person receives it or not, it's their account. You
Yeah.
do your job. So you
Yeah.
don't have to worry. You have to try to improve the process in which you do it without getting getting angry with rejection. Be open to hearing a no and then go with the other person with the same sense or greater sense of enthusiasm. That was such a beautiful learning.
Yeah,
And
and very
that's
good. So Polami is sharing very good that the fear went away. How this fear goes away is because Polami also got the Mahaprasad. So that energy from the spiritual master is now coming to all of you, all those who attended sessions, all those who did services, all those who honored Mahaprasad from the spiritual master. All this is direct service. So many of you also gave some Lakshmi also to Guru Maharaj. That is also all direct service. It's described in Srimad Bhagavatam at great length in Canto 1, Chapter 2, that how serving the pure devotees is beneficial for you and you develop the taste. Very good. What else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. And Prabhu, that spark was amazing when you were honoring the prasadam in your eyes and body. We can feel that.
Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji. That was like some ethereal experience we could see. And the way you narrated the stories.
Yeah. Yeah. So rest of the devotees can connect with all those devotees who are personally present. They had a lot of learning experiences. Can only share briefly here. Now, one point I want to highlight for everybody's attention, which will lead to my next discussion. So all those devotees who were present at the Toronto temple last week during my Guru Maharaj's presence, what was your attention span? What discussion we had about your attention span?
0.
All of you who were present, what was your attention span? What happened?
Prabhuji, I felt it improved this time. Yeah, generally it is low, but this time it was better. Probably there was something in the air.
Okay.
Probably.
Rest
We
of
didn't
you?
listen to you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And attention span of these devotees, I sent a message to all of them that honor prasad and come see me, in less than 2-3 minutes after my message, they're doing something else. So this attention span is very important, and I will explain. I have explained so many times, and I'll repeat right now, that if you are not regularly hearing scriptures, if you are not regularly hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures, then your taste will go away. And if you look on our Zoom call, the devotees attending, very recently, few devotees have left our classes, and why they left was simple, that they were not listening to past class recordings. They are still in the catch-up session. I kept reminding them. I can only remind you so much. I kept reminding all of them that has your listening to the recording stalled, please restart, because this will otherwise become a problem for you. And that's exactly what happened. That multiple devotees in the last few weeks, they just left because they were not listening. I kept telling them, reminding them again and again and again. I said, you need to get caught up. So there are still few of you who are still not caught up. And there are few of you who, in spite of my repeated reminders, you still do not complete the spiritual endeavor. Well, the result is right in front of you. You will be just another number very, very soon if you don't follow the instructions. If you don't listen to Prabhupada, if you don't listen to classes, if you don't do your spiritual endeavors, you will just become another number like the other devotees that just left. Now, important point here is those devotees who left, they did not even apply what learnings they went through. So we have learned in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 at the start with the word Vishidantam in chapter 2 verse number 1, and the same word Vishidantam in chapter 2 text number 10, that Vishidantam means lamenting. So in 2.1, Arjuna was lamenting, and Arjuna was just communicating his decision that he is not going to fight. Krishna did not give any instruction to him. He said, what are you doing here? And then in 2.10 also Vishidantam came again. But then Arjuna has inquired that please instruct me. Therefore, from 2.11 onwards, Krishna goes on to speak the entire Bhagavad Gita. While all these devotees, they simply messaged me that they are not going to continue the classes. Well, that's not appropriate. All of you are going to face these similar challenges, that you will have so much pressure that you will say, I just want to leave. Don't leave. Have a chat with me first. Otherwise, what's the point of learning? We have learned this exactly from Arjuna. Arjuna has taught us, when you are confused, consult with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Where is the action of that? Right? So all of you are going to face this situation at some point of time where this will become overwhelming. And if you are just going to say that I'm not going to come, or you will just stop coming to the classes, well, then you are not applying what we are learning. Have a chat with me, that what in between work around we can do to help you continue. It is going to become challenging for everyone, not one, everyone. So have a chat with me when you face challenges. Everybody can do that, please. So many of you have also got caught up on the class recording. Most recently, Ria is fully caught up. She is among the latest one to join, but she is very diligent. in getting caught up. So rest of you take inspiration from Ria. Others also are there. Otherwise, you are going to be a number just like the devotees who have left, because you are missing out on lot of important learnings. I cannot stress more. How many times I have said, you think I am just repeating a broken tape here, but you are just going to become a number. Okay. Now, last point about the services. So on Saturday at the temple, those of you who were at the temple, you had a 10-minute break between the session one when it ended and the next session started. What did you do?
We were cutting the salads, Prabhuji. You asked us to utilize the 10 minutes and cut the salads for the Gopinathji.
Yeah, and what was rest of the devotees doing?
Gossiping.
Right? So all these devotees, in 10 minutes, they cut a very big tray of salad for about 150 plus devotees. That was a lot of effort. And how did we do this? How did I learn this? That my Guru Maharaj had to reschedule all his meetings because of something else popped up in his schedule. So my Guru Maharaj has to go for a walk for his bodily maintenance. He uses the walk time to conduct meetings with devotees. So another devotee will walk with him and the meeting happens. So the walk has to happen. And simultaneously, he's not wasting the walk time. He's using it to conduct meeting and give instructions to his disciples. So this is spirituality at the height that we have to learn from spiritual master, that they don't waste even a single moment. I've given so many other examples also previously, but this was live. Devotees saw, I think Ritu was standing beside me when Guruma came and explained that. I think it was Ritu, I don't know who it was. So this is the way to do spirituality, that you are wholeheartedly involved in Krishna consciousness, not bits and pieces, not here and there. All right, last point for today is that next Sunday, September 7th, is Bhadra Purnima. Bhadra Purnima is the most auspicious day to welcome Srimad Bhagavatam at your home. I mean, all days are auspicious. There's no such thing as inauspicious for Srimad Bhagavatam. But if you don't have it, then Bhadra Purnima is the best day to welcome Srimad Bhagavatam. So anybody interested, you can please connect with me offline and we'll go from there. Deepa among us did already take Srimad Bhagavatam directly signed by my Guru Maharaj. Thank you for doing that. And Gauri from one of our batch, she got the shelter from my spiritual master as well. So she will progress towards getting initiation. All right. Let's start chapter 11. So I will start with a question for all of you. I asked this question earlier, that for Bhagavad Gita 7.1, many of you had guessed the number of lectures Srila Prabhupada has. So 7.1, Prabhupada has the maximum number of lectures, more than 40, 45, 50 lectures for one verse, because it's a 7.1 is the base setting verse for Krishna consciousness. So here's a question for all of you. All of you try to answer. Pick a guess. How many lectures Srila Prabhupada has for this Bhagavad Gita entire chapter 11? Everybody quickly. So Prabhupada in total has 400 some lectures for entire Bhagavad Gita. So Srivatsa Prabhu, 500 cannot be a number. So for chapter 11 alone, How many lectures does Srila Prabhupada have?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, 50 plus.
Okay. If you have answered 50, 25, 50 plus, okay, 100, okay, that's okay. Rest of you? Okay. So he also says 50, some say 50, 75, okay. Chapter 11, I'm looking for chapter 11 lectures only. Okay, some say 8, 15, 20, okay.
30.
All right. All right, so a few guesses. So here's the answer. Srila Prabhupada has 0 lectures for chapter 11. How many? 0. Because you'll be surprised with this statement. Prabhupada has 0 lectures for chapter 11 on the universal form because universal form is not important for a devotee. You might already be surprised with the statement that universal form is not important. Yes, for a devotee, universal form is not important, and we'll soon discuss. So we will first discuss the universal form in detail, and then I will answer inquiries submitted by devotees at our next class. Inquiries at next class, because many inquiries will get answered while we'll be discussing universal form, as well as many of you also pointed out striking points or something that you already knew about the universal form. I will also answer those to remove misconceptions, because not all points are accurate. So first point that I will make about the universal form is the image that you have on the screen. The image that you have on the screen is the most commonly known image of the universal form, that Krishna and Arjuna are sitting on the chariot, and in the background Krishna is pointing to the universal form. The first misconception I want to remove, and the first point I want to state, that even though the image that you have on the screen is the most commonly and widely used image for the universal form, this is not how the universal form was displayed. Actually, what had happened was Krishna's Shyam Sundar form got transformed into the universal form, and Krishna was not visible to Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna will go on to ask the universal form, "Who are you?" Because Arjuna does not recognize who is this universal form. So Arjuna does not ask Krishna, "Who is this?" This referring to the universal form. No, because Krishna was not there in front of Arjuna at the time. It was Krishna's Shyam Sundar form that got transformed into the universal form, and Krishna's Shyam Sundar form was not visible at the time. So I'll discuss all these. So even though this image that we have on the screen is the most common and the widely used universal form image, but this is not how it happened. So I will explain all. I will remove all misconceptions. I will try to explain the universal form point in today's and in the next class based on what I have understood from various acharyas. What I will be describing about the universal form is much more than what is in Bhagavad Gita. It is going to seem overwhelming for some of you. Therefore, I will go at a reasonable pace, as well as the reason to cover this universal form point in today's and the next class. I can complete in today's class, but it is going to overwhelm all of you. So I request all of you to focus on the understanding, ask a lot of questions, Focus on understanding rather than trying to take notes, because universal form is not important. We will soon discuss and understand the reason for this. Therefore, understand. It is still important to understand because you all have to take ownership of this philosophy. And somebody may ask you a question, so you should be able to explain. But otherwise, for you all as a devotee, universal form is not important. And for your next class, I request all of you, if possible, to try to log in from a bigger screen instead of a cell phone. Try to log in from a computer like some screen bigger than a cell phone, and you will realize why. And we will also hear from Chaitanya Chandas about humility today. This chapter is important to develop humility, not just in theory, but next class you will also try to practice humility. Let's dive into chapter 11. So chapter 11 is titled The Universal Form. In Sanskrit is Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga. In chapter 11, Krishna primarily speaks about the universal form. Krishna has said earlier that he pervades all of existence. So how does he pervade all of existence? And this is what Arjuna will ask. And he said, I want to see, Krishna, how do you pervade all the existence? And that's what Krishna will explain and also show it in the universal form. Chapter 11 is divided into 7 sections. Section 1 is verses 1 to 4. Arjuna's request. Please show me the universal form. Section 2 is verses 5 to 8. Krishna's description of the universal form. So what Arjuna is going to see is so extraordinary that Arjuna needs a context to understand. Therefore, before Krishna gives the vision to see the universal form, first, therefore, Krishna gives a description that this is what you are going to see, so that Arjuna can make sense of what he's seeing. Section 3 is verses 9 to 14. Sanjaya's description of the universal form. So what Arjuna is seeing on the battlefield, Sanjaya also has the Divya vision, and he is also able to see, and Sanjaya is describing what Arjuna is seeing at the battlefield, including the universal form. Section 4 is verses 15 to 31. Title is Arjuna's description of the universal form. So when Arjuna sees the universal form, Arjuna becomes overwhelmed, and Arjuna starts describing the universal form. This Arjuna's description of the universal form is the most detailed description of the universal form. Now this section 4 is divided into 5 subsections. Verses 15 to 20 is vision of the universe and universal form. Verses 20 to 23 is effect of universal form on the universe. verses 23 to 25 is effect on Arjuna. Verses 26 to 30 is vision of the battlefield. And verse number 31 is Arjuna's question to the universal form. Who are you? So these were the 5 subsections of section 4. And then section 5 is verses 32 to 34. Krishna's instruction, become my instrument. Section 6 is verses 35 to 46. Arjuna's prayers. So Arjuna starts offering prayers, expresses apology, and Arjuna is also seeking darshan of the four-ended Narayan form and then the Shyam Sundar form. So Arjuna's these prayers in section 6 are divided into 4 subsections, or you can say 4 topics. They're exactly the 4 topics like what we had discussed at the start of chapter 10, that when spiritual master comes in front of you, what to do and what not to do. They're basically Arjuna is showing us by example. So the 4 subsections of section 6 are verses 36 to 38. First 3 are glorification. Verses 39 to 40 are offering obeisances. Verses 41 to 44 is on apology. Arjuna is asking forgiveness for taking the Lord for granted. And verses 45 to 46 is a request, is a spiritual request to show the Saumya Rupa as well as the four-handed Chaturbhuja Rupa. And then section 7 is verses 47 to 55. Pure devotion alone grants all visions, whether of universal form or the four-handed form or the two-handed form. So chapter 11 starts with revelation of God, and chapter 11 culminates in pure devotion. Everybody with me on the overview of chapter 11? Already a lot of points. All right. Here's a question for you. Some of you may know the answer. Do you know how many times the universal form is shown? And who all have seen the universal form? Somebody knows the answer? Somebody wants to know the answer?
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to know.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji, I want to know.
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to know.
Anybody knows how many times the universal form is shown, and or who all have seen the universal form?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think so. I'm just guessing it's 2 times. One in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and one time in that in front of Duryodhana and all the members.
Okay. Rest of you, anybody else? Only if you wanted to know. Matan?
I think it's 3 times.
Okay.
One time when Mata Yasoda, it was shown to him.
All right. Anybody else last wants to guess or wants to know?
I would like to know, Prabhuji.
I would like to know, Prabhuji.
All right. So universal form is shown 9 times. So we'll understand all of this. But when we read 11.6, Krishna goes on to say that no one has seen this form. So let's first read 11.6. Mansi, 11.6 translation.
Hare Krishna. 11.6 translation. O best of Bharatas, see here the different manifestation of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or have heard of before. Hare Krishna.
So I said that Krishna has in total shown the universal form 9 times, but then he is also saying, well, no one has seen this form. So how do you understand this? So the 9 times you can divide it into 6 plus 3. So 6 times only the space aspect was shown, not the Kala Rupa. And 3 times the universal form, including the Kala Rupa, was shown. And the Kala Rupa was shown to Arjuna for the first time. Subsequent time also Kala Rupa was shown. But to Arjuna was the first time when the Kala Rupa was shown. Therefore, Krishna goes on to say in 11.6 that no one has seen the universal form before. When he says no one has seen universal form before, in 11.6 is referring to the combined form of space aspect and the Kala Rupa. Before the universal form was shown to Arjuna on the battlefield, before it has already been shown. I will explain all those sequences. But the Kala Rupa was the first time when it was shown to Arjuna. Everybody with me? I'll explain. I have a lot to explain. So let's now start with the section 1 verses 1 to 4. Title is Arjuna's request. Please show me the universal form. So Sumnima will read verse number 1, translation and the purport.
Hare Krishna. Uh, Verse number 1. Arjuna said, by hearing the instruction you've kindly given me these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Purport. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom the material universe emanated. Krishna is not an incarnation, he is the source of all incarnation. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he is such a great friend as Krishna, but now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So, in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as Supersoul. Hare Krishna.
So Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show the universal form, not that Arjuna wants to see. Arjuna is trying to establish a standard for somebody in the future says, I am God. Well, then show me the universal form. Then you are God. Otherwise, you are bogus. So we'll understand all these points as to why Arjuna is asking Krishna to show the universal form. All right. Priya Darshini will read verses 2 to 4 translations.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text 2. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Text 3. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Hare Krishna.
Up to number 4, read 4 also.
If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self.
So, Arjuna is teaching very important point here. In verse number 4, Arjuna is showing humility. This is what we have to develop also. That Arjuna says, if you think I can behold your cosmic form, then please show to me. So, yes, Krishna, you can show. That's not a question. But if you think I can behold the cosmic form, then please reveal the universal form to me. So we'll hear from Chaitanya Chandas about this humility of Arjuna. So I've described many times that those of you who are still in the process of getting caught up on past recordings, that the content of the question of Arjuna is definitely important. But throughout Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has taught us a lot of soft skills, behavioral skills, humility, how to approach, how to ask. So these are very important points that we have discussed throughout. So all of you who are in the process of getting caught up should get caught up. Otherwise, you are missing out on important learnings. So in chapter 10, verse number 42, Krishna has said with the word Ekam Shena that I pervade all of existence by one spark of myself. I had shown you a visual, and I'm going to show the visuals again as part of chapter 11 to connect the dots again. So because of that 10.42, where Krishna has said that Ekam Shena, that by one spark of myself I pervade all existence, therefore Arjuna is asking here, what is that spark? How do you pervade? I want to see that. That's how his request is, to show the universal form, to see how Krishna pervades everything. So let's hear from Chaitanya Chandas. It's a very short 1-minute lecture, but bang to the point. Not 1 minute, 3-minute lecture. It's a very, very important lecture on humility. So we'll discuss this humility point in chapter 13, verses 8 to 12. Verses 8 to 12 are the qualities or the knowledge that we have to develop, and it starts with humility. So spirituality starts with humility. So today we will be learning the theory part, and next class you will all have the opportunity to practice also. And going forward, it's not a one-time practice. Humility is very important and a very important starting point on the path of spirituality. So take notes and we will come to discuss. Chaitanya Chandas will explain the difference between humility and pride. Basically, he will say that humility begs and waits, pride demands and complains.
Now here Arjuna exhibits humility. Now it is the difference between humility and pride is that Humility begs and waits. Pride demands and complains. Pride thing, when we are proud, we think we already deserve something, and we don't get it. Demand. Why is not coming? Why is this not coming? Why is this not coming? So pride demands, and the demand is not fulfilled. The pride complains. Whereas humility doesn't do that. What is the nature of humility? It begs and waits. Yes, this is what I desire, but then I know I'm not qualified. So whenever I become qualified, you can reveal this to me, my dear Lord. Humility begs and waits. That's the difference between humility and pride. So here, Arjuna is making a bold request in terms of asking that, please show me the Virata Rupa. But how is he phrasing that request? He's saying it very humbly. It's, my dear Lord, if you think I am qualified, manyase yadi tachakyam, then please reveal it to me. Therefore, please reveal it to me. Now, in the early days of our movement, devotees, when they came, for them, especially Western devotees, it was a radical lifestyle change. They just gave up everything of their past life in order to take to Krishna consciousness. And they all had the expectation that results would come soon. So, in fact, many devotees in the 1970s, they think that, by next week or next month, we were going to take over the world and the whole world is going to chant Hare Krishna. Devotees had that kind of euphoria, their exhilaration in their outreach, and there were remarkable results which came out through their outreach. But another idea was that not only that Krishna consciousness will spread very rapidly, but the idea was we will also become advanced devotees very quickly. So I agree with Prabhu. Once he went to Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I've been following the 4 rituals strictly for 6 full months and chanting 16 rounds also. Still I have not had darshan of Krishna. So Prabhupada looked at him and became grave. Still I have not had darshan of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was working on his Bhagavad Gita at that time. So Prabhupada opened a Bhagavad Gita and he showed, read this. So he looked at it and he read it out. So it was actually this verse that Prabhupada showed him. Manya say, if you think I am qualified, then please you reveal yourself to me. So he read it again. He couldn't understand. What is this, Prabhupada? He said. And he said, Prabhupada said, well, go read it again. And he read it aloud. If you think I am qualified. And they understood Prabhupada, yes. If you think I am qualified, that's what Arjuna is saying. Prabhupada said, yes. Our qualification is not decided by us. Our qualification is decided by Krishna. So it's good that you are desiring to be advanced. It's good that you are desiring to have darshan of Krishna. A desire is good. But a devotee's attitude of humility makes sure the devotee doesn't demand. A devotee desires but does not demand anything from Krishna. We are servants. And naturally, because we love Krishna, we want more and more reciprocation with him. We would like to have his darshan. We're very grateful, delighted, ecstatic if we get that. But that's not a demand that a devotee makes. Service means that we don't make demands, we want to serve. And at the same time, because it's a personal relation, that doesn't mean that we can't have desire. The desire to have darshan of Krishna is not sahajic. But the demand for that darshan is inappropriate from the point of view of bhakti. So Arjuna is phrasing the request humbly. My dear Lord, if you think I am qualified, please grant me darshan.
Okay, what did you hear?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Pratish Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhuji says that we can desire from Krishna, but to demand from Krishna is not the right attitude. We can desire something from Krishna, and if we are qualified enough, then Krishna can handle our desires the way he wants.
Okay, very good. Rest of you?
He also explained that humility begs and waits, whereas pride demands and complains. In this case, Arjuna is showing humility. He's making a bold request, but he's saying humbly, because devotees, they don't demand, they desire, and also that if we are qualified or no, that is decided by Krishna.
Yeah, very good. Ritu?
We should phrase the request very humbly. We should learn how to phrase the request.
Very
And
good.
our qualification is decided by Lord Krishna.
Very good. Rest of you? Very important. Humility is very important. All of you try to speak. This humility point will take a very long time to develop, at least for me. So very, very important starting point of spirituality is humility. What did you learn, Sumnima?
Hare Krishna, it is not we that decide if we are qualified or not. It's Krishna who decides, and We
Yeah.
just have to do what needs to be done.
What's the punchline that sticks on you? Put it on your refrigerator, put it as your screensaver. What's the punchline that we heard from Chetan Chandas?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhu, count it.
Like that, the punch point is like that. We don't demand that, oh Krishna, please give. Why don't you give darshan? It's not like that. We are
Okay.
just going to serve, and if the Krishna thinks, then Krishna will show to them.
Okay, very
Otherwise,
good.
we are going to continue our service with love, no doubt.
Okay, very good. What's the punchline you heard?
Humility begs and waits. Pride demands and
Complaints.
complaints.
Yeah, very good. This punchline, engrave it in yourself, put it every place. Humility begs and waits, while pride demands and complains. Why is this not coming? I asked you so many times, why is this not coming? Are Baba, practice humility. This is very important, and we don't realize in our subtle natures, we don't realize that when we are demanding, we are actually showing our pride. So make a request and then just wait. Just wait. Nothing doing. Because the spiritual master, Krishna, they know everything. They will give you everything at the right moment. So this very important punchline, humility begs and waits, while pride demands and complains. So Megha's question in the chat, how can we explain humility to a person who is not on the path of spirituality? So humility we also have to practice not just while we are in spiritual circles with devotees, but humility we have to also practice while we are in the material world, doing our day-to-day material tasks. So humility means we are not anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. If somebody honors us, we accept and pass it on to the spiritual master and to Krishna. We just go and do our service. We are not anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored. Plus, humility in the material world, while we are doing our day-to-day work, is that purpose is more important than my ego. A simple example to understand this is, say I am a team leader and a junior member in my team comes up with a solution that is better for the project, for the team. Well, if I am humble, then I will accept that junior's solution because my purpose is success of the project, success of the team. That is humility. But if I have ego, then I will say, who are you? You are junior. How can you give me a solution? So this is how you can explain humility to somebody who is not on the path of spirituality. There's a lot of discussion coming up about humility in upcoming chapters. I've only briefly described. Megha, does that help you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, that is helpful.
Srivatsa Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I had a question. So essentially, the difference between humility and pride is one is rooted in material consciousness and the other is rooted in spiritual consciousness, correct? One is in the bodily state and the other is in spirit.
Yeah, pride is definitely in bodily state.
Okay, so if just in the process of spiritual practice, if we can make a distinction of different states of being and then aspire to pursue and sustain in those states of consciousness.
If you try to distinguish your material and spiritual life, you are bound to fail. So what you have to do is you have to overlap your material and spiritual duties so that everything becomes spiritual. So you don't have to, starting you may try to do one versus the other, but over a period of time, if you keep distinguishing, that's not how to progress on the path of spirituality. So whatever we are learning in Bhagavad Gita is not just for spirituality. No, you have to apply it in your day-to-day material life also. Then you will overlap your material and spiritual life. Then you will not find the challenge that it is very hard to apply Bhagavad Gita in day-to-day life. No, you have to overlap. You have to come to the point. First, try to bring it as close as possible and then overlap. I'm going to show you visual for this overlap in coming up classes. But we have to learn to apply Bhagavad Gita learnings in our day-to-day material life also, not just material life is different standard and spiritual life is different standard. You are bound.
So it's kind of integration, kind of.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
All right. So now we are on section 2, verses 5 to 8. Title is Krishna's description of the universal form. Now, there are many saints in the world from different religions who have had visions of spirituality, but their vision is not described much in scriptures. This universal form description in Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 has no parallels. This vision is not some imagination. Rather, this universal form is a revelation. Arjuna is not seeing something by imagination. No, Arjuna is actually seeing what is revealed to him by God himself. Now, in this verses 5 to 8, Krishna first gives a description of the universal form rather than just showing the universal form. Can anybody think of a reason why would Krishna describe the universal form first and not just show the universal form? Quickly.
Because otherwise we might not be able to understand as revelation.
Okay, very good. Okay, so not to overwhelm is also correct. So I'll give you an example from the material world to understand why Krishna is describing the universal form in theory first. So if a person who has been blind from birth and he gets eyes, say somebody has donated his eyes, and there are articles in the medical journals, in the medical field, that when this person who was blind from birth first time opens his eyes, this person could see nothing but confused haze of lights and colors. He could not make sense of anything. So when we see, we cannot make sense unless our intelligence has some past framework by which we can make sense of things. So we have some familiarity of what we know. But when there is no framework for our knowledge, then it is hard to understand what exactly we are seeing. Similarly, Arjuna is going to get a vision for which he has no prior connection to make. No one has seen this universal form before. Krishna will state this in this chapter. We already read in 11.6 already. That no one has seen this before. Therefore, these introductory verses, where Krishna is giving a description of the universal form. Here Krishna is giving Arjuna some basic framework by which Arjuna is going to make sense of what he is going to see now. And this is just like in the material world when you start a new job. These introductory description verses of the universal form are like the orientation course that a new staff member gets when he joins day one in a company. That they will show around a few things and make them aware what is what, who is who. And similarly, before Arjuna can have a perception of the actual form, he is getting a theoretical description to have a framework so he can understand. And similarly, I gave the example of a blind man from birth getting eyes. And he when he opened his eyes for the first time, it's all confused. So what they do is then he will again close his eyes, he will touch an article, say he will touch a chair that he knows from before, and then he will open and then he will see, oh, this is what a chair is. That's exactly what the orientation is happening for Arjuna as well. Ria will read verse number 5, translation and purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text 5. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. Purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals his form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Hare Krishna.
Right, so we read that this universal form is not important for a devotee. And another important point to understand about the universal form, that yes, universal form is transcendental form, still universal form is not eternal. Means all other forms of Krishna, say Narsimhadev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Ram, there are so many forms, Varadev, all these forms eternally exist in the spiritual world, eternally. But universal form does not exist in the spiritual world. Universal form is annihilated when the material world universe is annihilated. And when the universe is created again, then the universal form is created again. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there's detailed step-by-step process of how this universal form gets manifested in the material world. There's a detailed step-by-step process of how each component, each part of the body of the universal form is manifested in the material world. But important point is, yes, universal form is transcendental form, but universal form is not an eternal form. Universal form does not exist in the spiritual world. Therefore, in 9.15, it's a second junction verse in Bhagavad Gita where we had discussed Ekatvena, Prataktavena, Bahuda, and Vishwato Mukham. That somebody, Vishwato Mukham is somebody worshipping universal form. So somebody can worship the universal form, but they are not going anywhere because universal form does not exist in the spiritual world. So what's the point in worshipping the universal form? So Arjuna requested to see the universal form primarily so that people in general will have a standard by which to know who is really God and who is not God. So there are many people in the material world, they say, I am God. Or some say, I have come from spiritual world. No, how do you know? This is the reason, this is the standard Arjuna has set, that if somebody claims I am God, well, then show me the universal form. Then I will believe you are God. Otherwise, you are not God. You are just saying for the sake of saying. Everybody with me? Questions, comments, realizations? Monarch Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, I'm still not getting that why Arjuna is asking to show universal form, because he's also a great devotee and devotee never demands.
We just read. Yeah, we just read and discussed that Arjuna is setting a standard for future people, that somebody comes and says, I am God, okay, then show the universal form. That's the reason why Arjuna is asking for Krishna to show the universal form, not for himself. We'll understand that Arjuna is not asking to show the universal form for himself. We'll understand this point as we progress. Monarch
Got
Prabhu?
it, Prabhu. Got it, Prabhu. Thank you.
So Matan Prabhu's question is why universal form is not eternal. It's a fact. It's not a question why. It's a fact that universal form is manifested when the material universes are manifested, and the universal form is annihilated when full annihilation happens. So there are two annihilations. We discussed this in 8.17. So there is annihilation every day or every night of Brahmaji, but that is partial annihilation. The universal form continues to exist. Upon 100 years end of life of Brahmaji is full annihilation, when everything is dissolved. That's when universal form is also annihilated. Matan Prabhu?
Okay, thank you. So does all the demigod, they all have a universal form?
Demigods do not have universal form. Demigods just have their normal body. Demigods are at Jiva Tattva like you and me. So somebody at Jiva Tattva cannot have more than one form.
Okay, thank you.
Srivatsa Prabhu?
Prabhu, I was just trying to understand how these different forms undertake. Are they like energetical expansions and contractions, or
Which different forms are you referring to?
like demigods?
So demigods are at Jiva Tattva like you and me. They just have a material body. They are just having management rights, just as in an office, everyone is an employee. Some are managers, some are regular staff. So demigods are like managers of the universe.
So the powers that the mystical powers that they possess, they come from, are they ordained by the Supreme Lord, or
We have discussed this in the demigod discussion,
yeah.
that all powers the demigods have are given to demigods by Krishna. All demigods are appointed in their respective positions by Krishna.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay, Prabhu. So with reference to the universal form, then the universal form is also, it's one of the energetical. Because the question was asked whether it can be, why is it not eternal? So
Yeah, so it's not
basically,
energy. Universal form is not energy. Universal form is an incarnation of Krishna. It's a separate incarnation. It's just not eternal.
by choice of the Lord.
But it's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So we already read verse number 6, but in sequence we'll continue to read. Raksha, verse number 6 translation.
Hare Krishna. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Hare Krishna.
So all these personalities that are described in verse number 6, even alone, if you have to see all these personalities, are not very easily visible to human beings. Now, what to speak all of them in one form together, that is some revelation that Arjuna is going to get. Therefore, this is definitely a very extraordinary vision that Arjuna is going to see. And we already read at the start that no one has seen this form before, is referring to the Kala Rupa. Like I'm going to explain a lot more. Subhash Prabhu, verse number 7 translation.
Verse number 7. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place.
Very good. So with internet all over the world and other gadgets that we have, we can know more of many other places even without visiting those places. Say we are sitting in our one place, in our respective places, and somebody is broadcasting something and streaming it live through internet, and we can see. But all this is secondary. It is dependent on some person being physically present at that location with a camera, and is recording and streaming it. So we need one or more of these intermediaries to be able to perceive something far away. Now, although we may be in one place, Krishna is saying, you, Arjuna, sitting here in one place, in one vision, you will see the entire universe. I'm going to show you visual. What Arjuna is going to see, I'm going to show you that visual also. So the entire universe, nobody is broadcasting anything, nobody is live feeding something, but Arjuna is going to see the entire universe. This is extraordinary mercy the Lord is going to give to Arjuna. All right, verse number 8, Ritu will read, and then we'll have a lot of discussion, open-ended discussion about the universal form, and I'm going to ask you a question. So everybody read verse number 8 closely. I'm going to ask you a question.
Hare Krishna. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
So a very famous line from the verse number 8, the third line, Divyam dadami te chakshu, that I give you divine eyes. So here's a question for all of you. All of you try to answer. My question is on this divine vision. Which vision was granted to Arjuna? Everybody, please try to answer quickly. Kamalpreet Prabhu.
Yeah, like transcendental vision to
Okay.
only see the universal form.
Okay, transcendental vision. Okay. So my question is it higher or lower vision?
Extreme higher.
Okay. Everybody, please try to answer. What vision was granted to Arjuna? Srivatsa says way higher. Okay. Everybody, please answer.
Higher vision, Prabhu.
Okay.
Divine eyes, like with the
Okay.
higher vision.
Okay. Sumnima says higher. You have a unanimous answer, higher. Okay. Rest of you, please answer. Extremely high, higher vision. Okay.
Yeah, I think probably it's high and they say like Divya Drishti or something.
Okay, yeah, then we read Divyam Dadami Te Chakshu. Okay, Divya Drishti. Okay, Samma says higher. You have a unanimous answer. Rest of you have not answered. What vision was granted to Arjuna? Some of you still have not answered. Do you want to know? No, nor you. Deepa?
Prabhuji, I would like to know.
All right.
Divine
Prabhuji, I
vision.
want to know.
Okay.
The divine.
Okay. Okay. Mansi says also higher, but not the highest. Okay. So we almost have a unanimous answer. Everybody said on the same path that it is higher or divine or spiritual. So here's a first eye opener for you all. Well, it's not the first, I already gave you a few eye openers so far. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a prominent acharya in our disciplic succession, calls this divine vision to Arjuna as a downgrade of vision. What? Yeah, I'll repeat. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur calls this divine vision given to Arjuna as a downgrade of vision. When Krishna calls the vision that he is giving to Arjuna as divine vision for seeing the universal form, then why does Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur call it a downgrade of a vision? So understand this very nicely. So in 11.8, the third line, it says, Divyam dadami te chakshu, that Arjuna is being given eyes by Krishna, some divine eyes. Now this giving eyes or given eyes is not like an organ donation that somebody has to go through a surgery for this. Rather, Krishna is giving the power to see. And the word power means access to see. Means Krishna is giving power to see, or Krishna is giving access to see the universal form. So you understand this from a mainframe computer example, that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Universes, or one universe, is like a computer, like a mainframe computer with huge amount of information in there. There are different users, just as in the material world office, you are different users. The network has lot many folders, but different users have different levels of access. So some users may have access to preliminary data files. Some users may have access to programming code files. Some users may have access to everything. So there are different levels of access. Similarly, universe is like a computer with multiple levels of access, and we human beings have a particular level of access within it, which is very low. Demigods have a higher level of access than us humans. Yes, demigods are also at Jiva Tattva level, but because of their managing responsibilities, demigods have higher level of access than what we humans have. And Krishna has complete access. So take another example. Say there is a child user, then there is a parent user. Then the parent says to the child that I will give you access, and the child user, all of a sudden the child user can see all the files, they are already existing. Now, because he got access. So when Krishna is giving the divine vision, it is not that some eyes are getting planted on top of the eyes of Arjuna. No. What Krishna is giving is access to higher reality that already exists. And Krishna is giving not just access, but the ability to assess also. So I already described that universal form gets manifested at the very start of the creation of material universe. So it already exists. But I don't have access to see the universal form. So when Krishna is saying in 11.8, Divyam dadami te chakshu, it's not that some surgery was done or some other glasses, like when you go to watch a 3D movie, you put on glasses to see the 3D movie, that some such vision or some eyes were implanted. No, no, no. It was only access was given so that Arjuna can see the universal form which already exists. Previously, Arjuna just didn't have the access to see the universal form. Now, Krishna says in 11.8 third line, Divyam dadami te chakshu, I am giving you divine vision by which you can see the universal form. But then Acharyas go on to call this divine vision as a downgrade of vision because Arjuna and people around him are humans. The humans have normal human vision like you and me. Then there is pure devotional vision where one is able to see Krishna in his Shyam Sundar form and see that Krishna has concealed his divinity out of love. So Arjuna has this highest pure devotional vision of seeing Krishna in his Shyam Sundar form, in his intimate, loving, reciprocation way. Now, other people around Arjuna, those who are in Maya, they think Krishna is just another ordinary human being. This is normal human vision that people may have. Arjuna does not have that normal human vision like people. Arjuna has pure devotional vision to be able to see Krishna's Shyam Sundar form and to be able to also reciprocate. For Arjuna, when Krishna is saying Divyam Dadami Te Chakshu, that is actually downgrade of a vision and not upgrade of a vision because Arjuna is at the highest spiritual level of pure devotional level where Arjuna is seeing the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna, the Parthasarthi form of Krishna, which is very intimate form, and Arjuna is reciprocating with the Shyam Sundar, the Parthasarthi form of Krishna. For Arjuna to see the Virat Rupa, the universal form, is not an upgrade. Rather, to see the universal form is a downgrade. And Srila Prabhupada explains this point in an extraordinary section with a very bold statement. We'll soon read that where Srila Prabhupada will call Krishna showing the universal form as godless display of opulence. Well, Krishna is showing the universal form while this is the nature of pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who says this universal form is godless display of opulences. So how do you understand this? We'll read and we'll discuss and understand this point. So the first point about the vision, that according to normal people like me, the vision that Arjuna got was higher vision if you compare with normal people like me. But because Arjuna is already at the highest level of pure devotional level, therefore for Arjuna to get the vision or to get the access to see the universal form is a downgrade of a vision. Everybody crystal clear on this vision point? Yes, no, silence?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Srivasa Prabhu, hold your question. Now let's first go to verse number 8 purport. Megha will read. Let me point you to the verse. So there's a second paragraph. Megha will read, which starts with devotees who are correctly situated in transcendental relationship.
Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami recites this verse. Here is the Supreme Person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now, these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. The fact is that the
Okay.
devotee is.
So, this is Prabhupada's boldest statement that Prabhupada calls Krishna's displaying universal form as godless display of opulences, because devotees are not interested in universal form. I started our discussion with this statement. So God is displaying his opulences while Srila Prabhupada is calling this as godless display of opulences. How can you understand? How can you say this? Answer is, this is the vision of a pure devotee. A devotee and even God himself is not interested in display of power. Krishna is not interested in displaying that I am God and all of you should bow down to me. No, Krishna is not interested in this. Krishna is interested in reciprocating love with his devotees, and for reciprocating love, he conceals his divinity. So for a devotee who has already accepted Krishna's supremacy, it is very difficult to love the Virat Roop. It's a ghastly form. So Arjuna goes through a lot of emotions in his response when he gets the darshan of the universal form. First, Arjuna is amazed, then Arjuna is awestruck, and then Arjuna is fearful. And then in fear, he begs and asks to the universal form, who are you? The point is that the universal form is not very easy to love. You cannot do Ras Leela dance with the universal form. You cannot feed the universal form. So universal form displays the opulences of God in terms of power and pervasion. Pervades means God exists everywhere. But the Virat Roop is not very conducive for intimate devotion, for intimate reciprocation. But the devotee hungers for intimate, loving devotion and reciprocation. Devotee wants to reciprocate and serve Krishna. And this loving reciprocation with Virat Roop is anukul. It's not even possible because it's a very ghastly form. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is calling the universal form vision or the display or the revelation as godless display of opulences, because devotee is not interested in universal form at all. Krishna has been requested by Arjuna to display the universal form so that Arjuna can set a standard for others in future, that if somebody says I am God, then okay, show me the universal form, then I will understand that you are God. And this is the reason why Krishna obliged Arjuna's request and displayed the universal form. So Srila Prabhupada goes on to say again that devotee is not interested in seeing the universal form, but for the sake of others, Arjuna has requested Krishna to show the universal form. Everybody with me? Questions, comments, realizations? Pratish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. My question is that the universal form, it shows Krishna's power and pervasion. I think it was more for future disbelievers or atheists who might question the supremacy of Krishna. I think it was more suited for them rather than pure devotees. Is that
Yeah,
right?
you are correct. So universal form is definitely not for pure devotees. It is definitely for atheist people to tell them, here is God. You are correct, Pratyush Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Srivatsa Prabhu.
Prabhu, I had a question. So, if it's really that inconsequential to Arjuna, then why, in that point of history, would the Lord undertake such a big endeavor?
Yeah, we already
Because,
discussed. We already discussed to set a standard for future. Arjuna is setting a standard for future that somebody in the future comes and says, I am God.
but this is a very small standard.
What is a small standard?
This is a micro interaction. Like somebody comes and says, I am God, but this is a macro event that is taking place.
Yeah, so somebody comes and tells you that I am God, then you should be able to show the universal form. That's the standard. We already read from one of the purport. That's the standard that Arjuna has said, that in future somebody says, I am God, show me the universal form, then I will believe that you are God.
But it's serving no purpose to Arjuna because
It's of no purpose to pure devotees. You are correct. But what Pratyush Prabhu was saying was correct. That all those non-believers, all those atheists, it is for their purpose to get them back on track on the path of spirituality.
out of fear.
Out of or as a fact. So what you are saying that Pratyush Prabhu was speculating? No, Pratyush Prabhu was not speculating. Pratyush Prabhu was bang to the point correct.
Well, it is speculation when someone says, I think, then it is proven correct.
No,
But it is
he's
still
inquiring.
speculation while he's in the process. That's why I said that.
Yes. Yeah. So inquiry is all right. All right. So
Okay.
now we won't cover more verses, but I'm going to lay the foundation for universal form today. And I will continue the discussion about the universal form in our next class. So I have on the screen a question. So understand, what does universal form mean? Is universe the form of the Lord? Or is there a form of the Lord that contains the universe? Plus, the next question is, there is a universal form described in Bhagavad Gita, which we are discussing in chapter 11, as well as there is a universal form described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are completely different. So I'm going to describe a lot more than what is there in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 11. So have undivided attention, and this discussion will continue in our following class. So first, understand the terms. The word universal form can refer to different things. So the words Virat Rupa and Vishwarupa and Kala Rupa have been used interchangeably, all these terms to refer to the universal form. As well as every time the universal form is revealed, it's revealed differently. It's not the same form revealed all the same time. So in Mother Yashoda's case, Krishna opened his mouth, and there in the mouth of Krishna, Mother Yashoda saw the full universe, saw the universal form. So it was not exactly the same form that Arjuna saw. Arjuna saw it in front of him, the universal form, not in Krishna's body, not in Krishna's mouth. But Krishna became invisible to Arjuna's vision, and Arjuna saw the whole universe expanding in all directions around him. I'm going to show you all these visuals very, very soon in our next class. So within the universe, there are two primary aspects, the space aspect and the Kal aspect, or the time aspect. The universal form that was shown to Mother Yashoda as well as to Duryodhan, only the space aspect was shown. I'll soon show you the sequence of the 9 forms, 9 times when universal form is revealed, and you will understand who all saw which form. The Kala Rupa means the time aspect, meaning Krishna acting as time and destroying the warriors. That Kala Rupa was not shown to Mother Yashoda. Neither the Kala Rupa was shown to Duryodhan, because that was not relevant over there. To Duryodhan, Krishna had gone on a peace mission. Krishna wanted Duryodhan to use his free will properly, and hence to demonstrate the power. Krishna showed the universal form, that how the universe and universal beings were emanating from Krishna and everything around him. Therefore, Krishna did not show the Kala Rupa to Duryodhan. Now the question becomes, then why did Krishna show the Kala Rupa to Arjuna? The answer is because Krishna wanted to show to Arjuna that Arjuna needs to be my instrument in the fight. And we'll discuss in 11.33-34, where Krishna will describe that even if Arjuna does not become an instrument in the fight, the warriors are still going to get killed, because Krishna has come as Kala Rupa to destroy all these demoniac persons, all these demoniac warriors. Therefore, Krishna showed the Kala Rupa to Arjuna also to ensure that Arjuna becomes the instrument in the fight and Arjuna gets the glory. Thus, the universal form does not refer to a specific manifestation. It's displayed differently at all different times. Srila Prabhupada translates Virata Rupa, Vishwarupa, and Kala Rupa, all these 3 words, as universal form, although they can refer to different, say when you are referring to space aspect or the Kala aspect. But even the universal form every time is displayed differently. So there will be few differences, but overall the concept is similar. Now, another question is whether others were able to see the universal form. So we read in 11.8, Krishna says, I will give you divine vision by which you'll be able to see the universal form. So on the battlefield, no one else was able to see the universal form, because this is a special form that was revealed to Arjuna by Krishna. Now another question is, how is Sanjaya able to see the universal form without being given specialized by Krishna? So yes, Sanjaya also saw the universal form, which Sanjaya will go on to describe in this chapter 11 verses 9 to 14. That what Arjuna was seeing on the battlefield, Sanjaya also saw, because Sanjaya already got the blessings from Vyasadeva with the divine vision. So Vyasadeva, who is Krishna himself, did give the divine vision to Sanjaya. And Sanjaya will go on to describe in Bhagavad Gita 18.75 that by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Vyasadeva is his spiritual master, that by the mercy of my spiritual master Srila Vyasadeva, Sanjaya says, I was able to hear and see this confidential conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. In 18.75, the verse focuses on hear and conversation, because Bhagavad Gita is basically a conversation. But along with the conversation, Sanjaya had the vision to see what happened on the battlefield, as well as understand and comprehend what was being described over there. Now, here's the history of the universal form in terms of the 9 times that has been shown. So this universal form is shown 9 times to different great personalities. So within the universe, there are 2 primary aspects, space aspect and the time aspect. The universal form only means only the space aspect was shown 6 times. I'm sure I'm going to give you a sequence. And the universal form plus the Kala Rupa means space plus time. This combined universal form was shown 3 times. First time to Arjuna on the battlefield and then subsequent 2 times. So let me give you the sequence of how this 9-time form was shown. So the universal form plus the Kala Rupa was shown first to Arjuna. When it was shown to Arjuna, Sanjaya also saw the universal form including Kala Rupa, plus demigods also saw the universal form including the Kala Rupa, which is revealed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 11. Therefore, Krishna goes on to say in 11.6 that no one has seen this form before. It refers to the Kala Rupa, that nobody has seen this before. The second time, the Kala Rupa, I am first giving you only the Kala Rupa, and then I will give you the entire sequence of the 9 times. So first time, the Kala Rupa plus the space was shown to Arjuna, Sanjaya, demigods at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Second time, the Kala Rupa was shown to sage Uttanaka. So sage Uttanaka is a friend of Krishna, and after the battlefield, this friend, this sage, was angry on Krishna in terms of why all this destruction had to happen. And Krishna revealed, look, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there's a lot of details. I'm only explaining in brief. And to pacify this sage Uttanaka, Krishna revealed the universal form to his friend. It's his friend. But Krishna revealed the Kala Rupa also to say this the second time. The third time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, he revealed the universal form to Advaita Acharya and Nityanand. And this is how we understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also God, is also Krishna himself. Now, so this was the 3 times when the universal form was shown, including the space and the Kala Rupa. Whereas the space aspect only of the universal form was shown to others on different occasions, and Bhishma Dev and Sanjaya have seen the universal form twice in their lifetime. So now I'm going to give you the sequence of the all 9 times where you will have all the personalities and the various forms that were shown. So the first and the second time, Mother Yashoda saw the universal form twice. So yes, Mother Yashoda also saw universal form twice. So this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. So this is the first 2 times. The third time, the universal form was revealed to Akrura when Akrura had gone to bring Krishna and Balram to Mathura in the palace of Kamsa upon Kamsa's request. So when Akrura had gone to get them, at that time, Krishna revealed the universal form to Akrura. So this is describing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 39. The fourth time is described in Mahabharata, that Bhishma Dev, who saw universal form for the first time, then Drona, then Vidura, Sanjaya again sees the form for the first time. Duryodhan, and yes, the blind king Dhritarashtra also saw the universal form when Krishna had gone as Shantidut, where Duryodhan tried to arrest Krishna. So yes, the Dhritarashtra also, even though he's blind, he did see the universal form. The fifth time is Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, the universal form revealed in his fullness to Arjuna, including the space aspect and the Kala Rupa. So this full form of universal form was also seen by Sanjaya. So this is the second time Sanjaya sees the universal form. And this Bhagavad Gita universal form revelation is seen by demigods also. The sixth time, when Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows about to leave his body, at that time, the universal form was again manifested. And this is the second time when Bhishma Dev saw the universal form. The seventh time, after the Mahabharata war, the universal form, including the Kala Rupa, was shown to the sage Uttanaka, because the sage was angry at Krishna for all the destruction. So this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2 and Canto 9. The eighth time, Lord Vamanadev displays the universal form to Bali Maharaj, the priest, acharyas, and members of the assembly and demons who all saw the universal form. And the ninth time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows the universal form to Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda in the house of Srivas. I will pause here for questions, comments, realizations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have a question regarding that sequence that Lord Vamandev to Bali Maharaj is 8th. So, but Lord Vamandev came before Krishna or after Krishna?
So right now I don't have the sequence, but I'm giving the sequence of when it was displayed.
Okay, bro.
I don't have an answer right now for you.
Okay, bro.
Everybody on the same page? Lot to absorb?
It's a lot today, Prabhuji.
All right. So the slide that I have on screen, do you want me to show now or next time, or show now as well as next time?
Now, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Now,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
All right. So what you have on the screen, the slide, is going to be a significant eye-opener. If whatever we have discussed so far has not been the eye-opener. So here's a comparison between Bhagavad Gita's universal form and Srimad Bhagavatam's universal form. So Bhagavad Gita's universal form is a revelation, is a real form that contains the entire universe within the form of the universe, the universal form. Therefore, Arjuna saw at the bottom the divine serpents holding the universe, and at the top he will see Brahmaji. So next class I'm going to show you visual for all of this. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 11.15. So the Bhagavad Gita's universal form is a real form but is not eternal. Means there is no loka in the spiritual world where this Bhagavad Gita's universal form exists. The Bhagavad Gita's universal form manifest every time there is a creation manifested, and the Bhagavad Gita's universal form, even though it's a transcendental, it's a real form, is annihilated when full annihilation happens. The universal form is visible only when Lord reveals. So on the left side of the screen, you have about Bhagavad Gita. So I said there is a description of universal form in Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is significantly more than what you were expecting. Srimad Bhagavatam's universal form is neither real nor eternal. Srimad Bhagavatam's universal form is kalpita, is imagination. It's described in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.5.36. So Srimad Bhagavatam's universal form is a conceptualization that it's described in 2.1.25. The Srimad Bhagavatam's universal form is imagination, is a tool to enhance any materialistic person's spiritual focus by using material imagination so that materialistic people can move their focus from materiality to spirituality. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam's concept of the universal form describes that the person can think Patal to be Lord's lotus feet, rivers like Lord's veins, mountains like Lord's bones, trees like his hair. Therefore, the chapter is titled First Step in God Realization. Means the Srimad Bhagavatam universal form is not a real form, is not eternal, forget it. Is just using imagination of materialistic people to move their imagination from thinking all these big things, say, how can I relate it to spirituality? And that helps at least some of them to come on the path of spirituality. Therefore, that chapter is titled First Step in God Realization. So take a snapshot of this. This is significantly more than what you would have expected. And I already told you I'm giving you significant more. And this discussion will continue in our subsequent class. Take a snapshot of what you have on the screen. Questions, comments, realizations? Silence, I got real silence. So for the next class, if you are all silent now, your next class is going to be jaw-droppingly silent. So I request all of you to please try to log in from a bigger screen instead of a cell phone, and you will be amazed. And next class, you will all also practice humility. You don't have to wait till next class. You can practice from now because universal form is not important. So those of you who have not completed the spiritual endeavor, you still have an opportunity to complete the spiritual endeavor. The endeavor was, what do you know about the universal form and what do you don't know about the universal form? The next class, I will answer all the questions that devotees have provided on the Google form, as well as the striking points also that the devotees said they think they know, and I will clarify and remove the misconceptions on those as well. We are just about at 11:45 a.m. Toronto time. Any questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Right, we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.